What's up, guys? Welcome to Superwise. I'm John, and today I got a hot take. Now, I just finished seeing the cutscenes, the story for Spider-Man Miles Morales PS5, and I didn't love it. I didn't even like it. Now, I'm going to start off with some surface analysis to explain why I feel this way, and then later in the video we're going to get into heavy spoilers. So later in the vid, I'll tell you guys when the spoilers are going to pop up. The main focus of this video is going to be the story and the plot, but let's get the gameplay out the way real quick. So, the graphics are incredible. The ray tracing is just breathtaking. The gameplay and how everything moves and feels is absolutely amazing. There is nothing wrong with it. In fact, I love that part of the game. My main issue, which I'm going to talk about now, is the story. So, again, surface level, and then we'll get into spoilers a little later. So, Spider-Man Miles Morales takes place about 1 year after Spider-Man PS4. Miles Morales has been bit by the spider, and now Peter Parker is teaching him the ropes of how to be a Spider-Man. Now, similar to Peter Parker, Miles Morales also has trouble trying to make his personal life work and his Spider-Man life work. He has yet to find the balance that works for him. And also, while he's trying to find the ropes, he wants to be exactly like Peter Parker. He wants to be the Spider-Man that everyone loves. He wants to live up to the legacy of Peter Parker's Spider-Man, but he doesn't quite know how. And that makes for a very interesting character arc for Miles Morales, and I enjoyed that throughout the entire game. Now, I'm trying to get used to the new Peter Parker remastered look. The reason why I'm reviewing this game is because I saw the first game's cutscenes and gameplay, and I was like, wow, this is so cinematic, I have to talk about this for the next time. And so this is the next time. This is Miles Morales. And again, the game is very cinematic, but it does have its issues, and that's why I want to bring out the issues and what no one's really talking about. Okay, I totally went off topic there. Let's get back to the remastered Peter Parker look. I was so emotionally attached. So this is where it plays in. I was so emotionally attached to the Peter Parker in the PS4 story. I watched the 3-hour movie. I cared for him. I liked his character. And so when you remove the face and recast, it throws me off. It really does. They obviously, Insomniac and Sony obviously went and made him look more like Tom Holland, and I'm still having trouble trying to connect with him after all I've been through for the PS4 game. I'm kind of getting used to it. I'm just having a hard time, but I'll get there eventually. Now, into the story. Basically, my rundown is the first act of the game is incredible. I absolutely loved it. Then when we get to the second and third acts, it's messy and overall disappointing. So, in the first act, we have Peter Parker and Miles Morales teaming up to fight the Rhino. And I just love that entire scene. Then we learn that Peter Parker has to go outside New York City. He's going on vacation and can't be around for the rest of the game. Now, that sounds lazy, but actually, I liked it. I liked it because then the whole game is given to Miles, and he doesn't have to be in Peter's shadow. So I like the way that was done. So after that event, this is truly Miles' game, and I love it. I love seeing his culture and his family, especially as a Puerto Rican myself. They nailed the Puerto Rican aspects, the music, the dancing, the celebration, just everything. African Americans and Puerto Ricans are definitely going to get a deeper appreciation for the story and the character, because we feel like Miles. We know what Miles's life is like. So, and then we learn the plot of the game. So I don't want to call this a heavy spoiler, but it's a minor spoiler and a plot detail. So if you don't want to learn it, get out of here. Okay. Let's move on. So, Roxxon is the main villain of the game. Simon Krieger is the head of Roxxon. and he's the main villain of the game. The trailers make it seem like Tinkerer is. No, Tinkerer is not the main villain. Secondary villain, for sure. So, Roxxon as the main villain has this thing called New Form. And New Form is quote-unquote clean, sustainable energy that would last like 500 years or something stupid like that. And that's the issue. New Form actually makes people sick. We don't know how or why. They just say it in the game, and that's one of my problems. It's a MacGuffin. It's just there to serve the plot. And that's one of my main complaints with the game, is the main villain, Simon Krieger, who works for Roxxon, and his motivation is that he loves money. Yeah, you know how Doc Ock was such a great villain with, like, emotional motivation? You could see where he's coming from? Nah, forget it here. It's just money. He loves money. The secondary villain, Tinkerer, was so much better. So well done. And the identity of Tinkerer has been revealed. And it is, making sure you guys are leaving if, you don't want to know. Okay, the identity of Tinkerer is Miles Morales' love interest, Finn. Now, Finn has been around in Miles' life since middle school. They're very close friends. And so later in the game, it's revealed that she's the Tinkerer, and she wants to stop New Form from being spread because her brother died from New Form and Roxxon had something to do with it, so now she wants revenge. But then by the end of the game, she wants to blow up Roxxon Plaza, but then Miles tells her that the thing that she's going to be using to blow up Roxxon Plaza is actually going to vaporize all of Harlem. So, but Finn doesn't trust him because Miles, quote-unquote, lied about his Spider-Man identity when she found out, and from that point on, she was like, I don't trust you anymore, you're not my family, we've known each other for years, but I don't care anymore, I will kill you if I have to. And I was like, oh, okay. So at the end of the game, Miles Morales stops the explosion. Miles almost dies because he has Venom shock, but he cannot contain the Venom shock. So Finn uses her Tinkerer gear to fly into the sky, and because if Miles uses his Venom blast, it's going to kill a lot of people. So now Miles is in the sky with Tinkerer, and Tinkerer sacrifices herself, and she dies, and I didn't care. They tried to develop her character, and I sorta did, but when she died, I was like, oh, okay. And then the end of the game takes Miles 4 weeks later, and he's dancing in the street, and he got over it real fast. It's just the story is so rushed and so messy that I have a hard time believing some of the things that happen in this game. And then we have Prowler. Now, Prowler actually surprised me, and I like what they did with him at first. Prowler was an anti-hero that discovered Miles' identity as Spider-Man and decided to help him. But then later in the game, he decides to work for Roxxon for some reason. We don't know why. He just says, yeah, I'm evil now. And he betrays Miles. And then he says, oh, I'm protecting you, Miles, don't worry. And then the next scene, Prowler uses lethal force and tries to stop Miles. So I'm like, wait, you want to protect Miles, but you don't care if you kill him? Like, you can drive trucks through the massive story holes this game has. It's insane. I really wanted to like this game. I did. Believe me. I really did. Spider-Man PS4 is amazing, and I really wanted Miles Morales to be just as good, if not better. But unfortunately, it's not. It's just, it's just messy. And, like, speaking of the holes in this story, Morales discovers that he has invisibility, and so he does it the first time on accident, and then he doesn't know how to control it in later scenes, and then in the next scene after that, he just turns invisible without any problem. Like, did he master it when we weren't watching? Like, things just happen for the sake of the plot. things aren't fleshed out fully enough, and that's what I think is the problem. There was some effort put into this game. The story is messy, but it's not so bad that it ruins the entire game. I just think, I don't even want to call this game filler, but it sort of feels like filler, like Insomniac put it out there so the wait between Spider-Man 1 and 2 wouldn't be too long, and that's just sad to say. Oh, and another hole that I just thought of, the mother finds out that Miles Morales is Spider-Man, and then she was like, "Oh, you're Spider-Man? That's cool, no problem. I'll see you later." And the scene ends there. I was like, you should be showing more concern. It's just, I really did want to like this game. It looks so cool from the gameplay, and everything looks so cool. And I hate to be the bearer of bad news, but it's just not, it's not great, and it's not even good. I just think it's okay. If we're looking at it from a story perspective, obviously this is a game, so you play a game. The gameplay is fantastic. It's amazing, so no problem there. I'm just saying the story, that's where the main issue lies. And IGN and all these other game reviewing, channels never bring any of this stuff up. There are so many problems with this game that they don't bring up because they just ignore it. Just, oh yeah, it's a great game. They're very surface level, and I'm giving you the core, guys. I mean, when you're watching this, you're gonna see things that just don't make sense, and that's unfortunate. There are little nuggets of gold scattered in there, but overall, it's kind of disappointing. Again, the first act, I loved it. I absolutely loved the first act. If we got that for the entire game, I would have nothing but great things to say. But unfortunately, the story takes a serious dip, and I can't look past it. I really can't. But also, there are good things, like I said. Like, Miles, in one cutscene, is swinging through the city, and you see an Avengers HQ symbol. So it seems like Insomniac might be leading up to an actual good Avengers game. Like, I was reading the comments on the trailer of Miles Morales, and people were saying, "See, Square Enix, this is how you make a game." I'm sure the gameplay is great. I mean, it is great. I saw it, I played it, I looked at it, it's great. But the story, I can't... Man. And so many people are glossing over this, and they really need to look at it honestly. They really do. So that's what I have to say. And also, there was this cool little, what do you call it? A flashback. There's a flashback near the end of the game that goes back to the PS4 events. And so Miles Morales and Finn are at the science fair or something. And then they bump into Peter and Doc Ock. I just thought that was a cool little meta thing. Like, oh, they have no idea that they're gonna meet. A highlight of the game is actually the music. I love how the orchestra and the trap music mixes together. It reminded me of Into the Spider-Verse, and that was really cool. John Paisano, who was the composer of the first game, came back for this game, and he knocks it out of the park. So this was totally unscripted. This is my initial first thoughts. I just wanted to give you an honest review for you guys, and that's how I feel about it. But then again, don't listen to me. The full movie is out there. You guys can watch it for the story and see how you guys feel. I'm just saying that the trades and IGN and all that good stuff, all those good people, whatever, they're leaving something out. Like, the story, there's serious holes in it, and you gotta question it, It's not perfect. It's not a great game based on story alone. It's just, it has its issues, is what I'm saying. Oh shoot, let's talk about the post-credit scene real quick. So, the post-credit scene is teasing Venom for Spider-Man 2, just like in PS4. Norman Osborn, Kurt Connors makes a cameo, so maybe the Lizard might get a villain role in the next game. But Norman Osborn wants his son out of the tube that he's been staying in, so Venom is going to be unleashed in the next game. That post-credit scene was cool. You could watch it on YouTube, but So Miles Morales is disappointing. I really wanted it to be amazing, like Into the Spider-Verse or any other Miles Morales comic, because Miles Morales is the best part of this game, his character arc, but everything surrounding it is just, it's problematic. And that's my honest thoughts. Subscribe over here. You'll get nothing but my honesty. The goal is to hit 50 subs by December, so if you guys can come over here, that would be amazing. Thanks for watching, guys, and remember my catchphrase, stay super wise.